okay today. I'm going to read a story to you this afternoon. Now, I thought I'd do a different story than a dinosaur story. I thought today, because you've been designing noses, I thought I could find a book with a nose in it. And this story is quite a good one for that. This is called Pinocchio. And if you don't know Pinocchio or what it's about a boy who, when he tells silly lies, his nose grows longer and longer and longer. So let's see. Oh, I think my Gary's coming in. Should I show you to him? Gary, come on up. Come on up. There we go. Can we see Gary? Say hi, Gary. Say hello, just a good boy. So, I'm going to read you Pinocchio. Here we go. One day, Geppetto, the old carpenter, decided to make a puppet. He worked very skillfully, and when the puppet was finished, it looked like it was alive. Its mouth opened and it blew a raspberry. Pinocchio was alive. So Geppetto's made a puppet, but it's come alive. Let me see. Pinocchio cried, "You look boring. I want to see the world." The naughty puppet ran outside, smack into a pair of legs. "What's all this?" grumbled the policeman. "Is that man chasing you?" "Yes, he's a robber," Pinocchio lied. Then a very strange thing happened. Pinocchio's nose began to grow. Meanwhile, Geppetto was dragged off to jail. So Pinocchio's been made by Geppetto, and he's told a lie and said that he was chasing him. So the policeman's put Geppetto in jail. Pinocchio sat at home feeling very pleased with himself. Suddenly he heard a little voice. "Crick, crick." "I am the talking cricket," it said. "I will give you some advice to help you become a real boy. Be good and kind and always do what adults tell you." "Boring," Pinocchio cried, chasing the cricket away. But it would be nice to be a real boy. Kind old Geppetto forgave Pinocchio for sending him to jail. "How do I become a real boy?" Pinocchio asked. "You need to go to school," said Geppetto kindly. "Oh," Pinocchio sighed. That sounded no fun at all. "I'll go," Pinocchio promised. But as he spoke, his nose grew longer and longer. It's because he's lying. He doesn't want to go to school. I don't think he's going to go. Geppetto sold his coat so that he could buy Pinocchio a school book. Pinocchio was so grateful he decided to go to school after all. But on the way he saw a sign. And this sign here says Puppet Show. Pinocchio sold his book and bought a ticket. "I've come to play," he announced to the puppets. They high-fived and danced all day. So instead of going to school, like Geppetto asked him to, with his school book that he brought him, he sold that book, bought a ticket and gone to play with all the puppets in the puppet show. It was dark when Pinocchio left the theatre. "Be careful," warned the other puppets. But Pinocchio thought he was so clever he had nothing to be scared of. But Pinocchio was stopped by two horrible thieves. "Don't hurt me, I haven't got any money," Pinocchio said. "He hasn't either. Don't let him get away. Help!" Can we see? So the bad men here, the bad thieves, were trying to get pennies off him. So they've tipped him upside down and there's nothing there. And it says, at last Pinocchio escaped. He ran until he reached a little house. A kind fairy lived in the house and she put Pinocchio to bed where he tossed and turned. "I'm ill," he groaned. The fairy brought him medicine. "That looks horrible. I won't drink it." "Will. Won't. Will. What if I don't?" "You'll die." Sometimes it's a good idea to do what adults say. So this fairy's saying to him, "You have to drink this medicine." And he doesn't want it, does he? But she's saying it will make you better. And he's saying it won't. When Pinocchio was better, he left the fairy's house. He wanted to find something fun to do. But instead, all he kept thinking about was home. "I wonder what my father is doing," he said. A pigeon heard him and landed on the road. "I've seen your father searching for you. He's terribly worried." "I don't care," Pinocchio snapped. But to his amazement, his nose grew longer and longer and longer. He did care about Geppetto very much. So when Pinocchio said, I don't care about Geppetto, that wasn't the truth because his nose grew. So he does really care about him. Maybe he is a kind boy after all. I saw Geppetto rowing across the sea to look for you, said the pigeon. Can you tell him I'm here, said Pinocchio. Tell him yourself, the pigeon retorted, scooping Pinocchio onto his back and flying off. When he'd got over his fright, Pinocchio peered down at the sea below and he saw a floating oar, Geppetto's empty boat, and a huge shark. Oh no, where's Geppetto? He's gone looking for Pinocchio and now we can just find an empty boat. Father, cried Pinocchio. He wriggled so much that he fell off the pigeon and Pinocchio tumbled plop into the ocean. First he sank down, then he rocketed up, then tumbled down and was gobbled up by the shark. Eek! So he's in the shark's belly, can we see? And the shark's licking his lips. Very tasty. And what did he see in the shark's stomach? What do you think was in there? Do you know? There's some fish in there, some seaweed, some water. It was Geppetto! Pinocchio and his father hugged each other. I'm afraid we're trapped, said Geppetto. Even if we escape from the shark, I'll drown. Pinocchio laughed. I'm made of wood. I can float you to the shore. They crept up the shark's throat and Pinocchio reached out to tickle its nose. Achoo! Yes, they were free! Because when the shark has sneezed, he's blown out Pinocchio and Geppetto, can we see? And they've got out of the shark's mouth. When they made it to shore, Pinocchio was too tired to walk. Geppetto carried him home and they slept beside each other all night. When he woke up, Pinocchio cried, Father, are you all right? Yes, my son, said Geppetto, and look what has happened to you. While Pinocchio was asleep, he had transformed. Smiling in the mirror, he saw a good, kind, amazing, real boy. So because he told the truth and he showed love and was helpful and was kind, the magic had worked and he had turned from a puppet into a real boy. And that is the end of the story. So we shouldn't tell lies, should we? Because it's not good. And when it happened to Pinocchio, his nose grew longer and longer and longer. So it was good when he told the truth and good things happened. He turned into a real boy and he lived with Geppetto and they all lived happily ever after, didn't they? So I hope you liked that story. It had a very long nose in it. And if you've ever seen the film, I used to love watching that when I was little. It was magical with little Jiminy Cricket in it. So I hope you've enjoyed that story and I hope you have a really nice rest of the day. Can't wait to see you soon. Gary, you saying bye-bye? Should I show you Gary? Let's say bye-bye, Gary. Give me kisses. Say bye-bye to the children. Bye-bye. See you soon.